relax and come down away from our ears. So we don't have to wear them like adornments on our earlobes. We find our belly expanding out on our inhales and bringing that belly energy in on the exhale. Breath itself being all about balance. So we don't have to be in one of the two equinox times in life to feel balanced. We can come into our breath, which we carry every place we go. But the question is, are we mindful of that breath as we carry it along through our day? Or does it become haphazard, taken for granted, maybe imbalanced? When I say imbalanced, maybe we're inhaling faster and then exhaling faster than those long, calm, peaceful breaths could be. Or maybe one inhale is shorter or longer than the exhale. And in doing that, or thinking about that through the day, you know, what people talk about hyperventilation and all those other aspects of what can happen when our breath becomes imbalanced. Take your mind, your heart to your breath. Realize its beauty and its full potential of helping us maintain our balance in all those areas we spoke about. And let's go ahead and let our hands drift downward. Feel our shoulders pull down as well. And here we're just going to tick-tock one side, to still letting our arms hang and our neck fall over and then drift up straight. And then exhale, let ourselves go over, maybe release the neck a bit and bring yourself up on an inhale. Keep ticking and talking and feel though that you're not just dropping, right? You are exercising your full potential in your obliques and your abs, the full potential of your breath. Lori talked about being in the car a lot last week and feeling how just doing something like that, a long drive, can really bring contraction into the muscles. Just sleeping can bring contraction into the muscles. And I know you think, well, I'm asleep and I'm relaxed and all of that, but it depends on, keep going here with your breath, depends on how we sleep. Are we tossing and turning? We become unconscious of our breath when we sleep. We become unconscious of our movements when we sleep. And so sometimes we wake up with some stiffness in our neck or our shoulders. Let's do one more here on each side. And inhale, lift up. Okay, we're going to do 4 sets of that, but this time when I come over to one side, let's say my left side, I'm going to bring up my right shoulder into my ear instead of letting it rest away. I want to contract there. And then when I bring myself up, I want to exhale and really release that down. Maybe it comes down lower than it did before. And I come over and I pull in and contract, maybe bring my elbow up to add to that contraction and that opening in the side body. And then bring myself up with my breath in my obliques. Opening up, side body, stretching. Often we call that half moon. Ardha Chandrasana here. And inhaling up. One more time each side, please. Sinking into that exhale. Lifting on the inhale. And then bring ourselves back to just a couple of breaths sitting. Letting our shoulders relax down. And now we're going to do something I don't think we've ever tried in this class before. It's real easy, but just kind of listen to directions. We're going to keep our fingers open wide. I'm going to take my right hand, reach it behind my waist, palm out. Slide it over as much as I can towards my left hip. Taking my left hand, and I'm going to interlace my fingers into my other hand that's behind me. I'm going to continue sitting up straight and tall. And I'm going to let that right elbow pull back. It's going to pull back on that right shoulder. I'm going to squeeze tightly into my fingers. And just feel my chest expand open here. And then I'm going to take my ear towards my left shoulder. It may not go very far. This is not a forced thing. This is just letting go. And you should feel that deeply in the top of your trapezius muscle here. Take a couple breaths here. You begin to just shift your chin towards that left shoulder. And you're going to feel that a little differently in the side of your neck. Still pulling down, shoulders down and back. Definitely still breathing. And then slowly, ever so slowly, lifting my head up and turning it back towards you all, and exhale. Oof. Release my arms down. Let's take some shoulder rotations here. Pulling up on an inhale, pulling back and down on an exhale. Feeling the difference in one side of my body, my neck, as opposed to the other. One more time in this direction. Breathing, right? Breathing into these rounded rotations and release back. Squeeze, shoulder blades lift on an inhale. Exhale down. Oh, and one more. And release down. Good. 2 breaths here. Nice and straight spine. Mountain pose. And now my left hand is going to take and come to the back of my spine here, my waistline, fingers open. Other hand takes a hold of those fingers, interlace. It's going to assist in pulling gently back that left shoulder and that left elbow. And only you use the amount of weight that you want in controlling the amount of openness on that left side, okay? I'm going to pull my right elbow back too and just squeeze into my shoulders a little bit here. Continuing to stay upright, my spine. Feeling a heart really open here. Lungs open as well. And then I exhale, I'll let my right ear come towards my right shoulder. Continuing to let the shoulders pull down. Oh yeah, feeling that. And again, only feel what feels like, yes, that feels good. Backing off if it goes into the point of that does not feel good, okay? Find your edge, they call it. Find your boundary. We all have that, right? Just as in that personal space boundary, some of us can be really, really close to one another. Well, of course, now we're not supposed to be. And then take your chin down towards your right shoulder. Feel the difference in that stretch. But prior to COVID, some of us in some cultures have very little personal space. We're right there, kind of in someone's face, but maybe not in an aggressive way, just the way we are. We want to be closer. And then there's others that need that bigger bubble. So find where your edge and your boundary is on anything that we do here in our class. Gently lift your head up. Release back, chin towards the center. Oh, releasing arms. Let them come down. Lift shoulders up high. Inhale. Exhale. Out of your mouth. Release here. Inhale, squeezing into those really warm trapezius muscles. Open up your fingers wide. And release. Let go. One more time. Inhale, squeezing, contracting into your arms, fingers open, and inhale. Exhale. Good. And let's take our hands to our knees. And we are going to come in and out of cat and cow, but we're going to add a little bit with our feet here. So I'm going to rise up into the balls of my feet, hold on right underneath my knees, pull back, and lift heart through, gaze up, chin up, only depending on what's right for your neck, not overdoing anything. And then exhale, my heels come down, my hands may slide down, and I curl and tuck and round into myself. And that should feel really, really good. And that lower spine, you may want to hang out there for a couple breaths, or you can begin that flow onto the balls of your feet, pulling on your knees, heart open, shoulders down, cow pose, moving here. And then sliding down and curling into yourself, into that cat pose. So keep going or stay where it feels good, okay? And if you take 2 or 3 breaths in one place, that's what your body's saying you need right now. So please listen to your body. It speaks a language that really you only understand if you listen well. Sometimes we hear our body speaking, but we don't listen to it. We say, oh, I gotta push through that. That old saying, no pain, no gain. I don't believe that. But finding your edge is good. When I pull forward, I'm pulling in on my belly. That's my exhale anyways, where I should be pulling my navel back towards the base of my spine. Could do this all day and never realize the time. Do this forever and never realize the time. That's an old Bob Dylan phrase, one of his songs. I think it's, I could stay here forever and never realize the time. I remember when I was living in Chile and we took a beautiful backpack trip down the coast outside of a preserve that my husband at the time was working at as a biologist. And he and my daughter Angelita and I took this 3-day backpack, and I just sat and looked at the ocean, or walked and looked at the ocean, and said that over and over to myself. I could stay here forever and never realize the time. And we can bring ourselves back to those places, right, with our memories, with our minds. Let's do 2 more. This is a really nice balanced pose, right? We're staying into the light as we lift up and let our heart come forward and inhale. And we're letting ourselves go into the darkness as we curl and tuck and round into ourselves here. And then go ahead and lift up. And let's sit and just feel kind of that still inner flow of our fluids inside of our body as they still have that remnants of the cat and cow flowing. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of pigeon pose. And again, this is maybe new to us as well. We will be at the edge of our chair. And we've done this before where we've taken our ankle across at our knee. And already you feel that back in here, and that's what we're wanting to feel, okay? And we'll go into the newer part of this in a moment. If you're not able to do this, and that's all right, take yourself where you can, okay? And that might be also where you want to build yourself up a bit because you need a little bit more of that height. You could use blocks, okay? So be creative with those blocks. They're meant to be tools to help you find your way in our asanas. So here we are sitting up straight and tall. We've got the right hip, it's my right one that I lifted up, my right hip opening, externally rotating and flexing into that foot there. And now what you're going to do, continue here if that's enough. If you want a little more, you can take your hands behind you onto the chair back, okay? Or the seat. And we're going to kind of push down there or pull. And we'll let our chest come forward. And we're going to feel that opening maybe a little bit more in our hip as we press down solidly. That'd be my left foot is grounded. My heart lifts. And then I want to take it back to neutral. And then I want to curl and tuck and round. Still hold on to the chair. Let myself curl as much of my chin to my chest, as much of my forehead towards my calf or shin. And then bring myself up to neutral. And let's take our heart open again. Push down into the chair or pull on it, whatever it's going to take to give you a little more opening here. Keeping that top foot flexed so that you feel that continually in your outer hip. And when you're ready, releasing into that forwardness. Hold on tight so you don't fall forward here. Feel that stretching through your spine, through your shoulders. And then sitting up straight, point your toes now. So open up that front part of your ankle. We're going to do the same thing, pushing down or pulling forward more with your heart. Opening up, staying active in our legs. And coming back to neutral. And bringing myself down. Hold on tight for that forward ride. Let your shoulders go. And we did foot flex twice, so let's do foot pointed twice. Hold on tight and release. Bringing yourself maybe to the front part of your sits bones so that you can really arc in your spine a bit more, arcing into that lumbar spine. And then coming to straight. And take yourself over. Hold on tight. And then bringing yourself back up. And taking your hands back to knee and ankle perhaps. And let's just take a twist over, looking over the right shoulder, left pulse forward. Coming back to center on an inhale. And then exhale. Let's take a look over that left shoulder. Inhale, bringing ourselves back. One more time each side, please. Exhale. And forward. Back over that opposite shoulder. And again, my foot has stayed flexed or pointed. And then coming back here. Before we drop this foot down and switch out, let's take some ankle rotations here. So we're going in those ankle rotations from a flexed foot to pointed and in all of those little nooks and crannies there. And let's reverse that. Still maintaining a nice straight spine here. And just one more thing here. Pull your chest forward, flat spine. And let yourself be weighted a bit on your upper inner thigh. You feel a little more resistance here in that outer hip. And then bringing yourself up. And exhale. Let's take that foot down. Sit in mountain, 2 breaths. Good. And then let's go ahead and switch up. Again, are you able to bring that ankle up right behind your kneecap? And again, for some of us, this may be just all we want to do through this process, besides maybe some ankle rotations, because you're already feeling it right there in the back, left side of your hip, left hip. My foot staying flexed. My body is upright here. Sitting nice and straight and tall. And then I'm going to release my hands, if you like, to the back of your chair. And again, pushing down or pulling or finding whatever resistance you need to open up your chest, rolling onto the front part of your sits bones as we look up. Shoulders squeezing together, reaching our hearts upward. It's a beautiful day. Breathing. And then coming back to sitting straight and tall. And bringing ourselves forward. Hold on tight. Really let your torso come forward here, curving into our spine. Different than how we ended the last set. And we'll do that here as well with a straight spine, but right now we're curling as if we're doing a cat pose. Forehead towards calf and shin, the upper leg. Lifting myself in an inhale. And my foot's flexed, okay? And then heart forward, push down, pull, push down into my sits bones, the front part of my hips, hip bones there. And release and curl into yourself, okay? Find your head just heavy. Find your shoulders released. And then bringing yourself up. Let's go ahead and point. Pointing now, opening up there into the front. And go ahead and pull or push. Lifting heart. Raising yourself almost out of your chair with the pushing down of your hands, the gripping onto the back of the chair to lift your heart. And then bring yourself straight And still pointed foot. Take myself forward. Breathe here a few times. Move with any way that feels good. Holding in strongly with your belly. All right, because we're in this forward fold. We're protecting the lower spine. And then we bring ourselves up. And I believe we need to do one more of these to equalize everything. Shoulders pull back. Heart comes forward. And I look up. Well, we may be doing an extra one. I don't know. I get into the movements and I get away from the number and the count. And bring yourself forward. And let those shoulders round. Head. Some portion may touch your upper leg. And then rising up here, inhale. And hands come on to ankle and knee. And let's begin some ankle rotations here. Just finding all those little openings in our articulation of the ankle. And when we do that, we're moving all of those bones in our foot as well. If any of you have had one little broken toe or one little broken bone in your foot, you know how it affects that whole foot. Go ahead and come around in the other way. I broke a toe in my danza one time, and it was incredible how one little place there affected everything I did. And then coming to stillness, sitting up straight and tall, flexed foot. Let's take our weight forward with a flat spine, okay? And just stay forward. You're feeling that, oh yeah, opening there in that side hip. If that's too much, back off, okay? This should feel not painful, okay? It should feel like something is reaching deep into that muscle mass and wakening up those cells, those tissue that really isn't exercised much in our daily life. And so we bring ourselves back up. That's what pigeon pose is really good for. And let's release that leg down. Let's take our hands and fists and just do a little bit of, I don't want to say the word pounding, but some little taps with our hands, maybe back of the hip, in the glute, on the side, all that area we just worked. There we go. And then let that go. And then let's just do some up and down with our feet, kind of pushing into the ball of our foot, lifting gracefully up like a gazelle. And guess what? When you're doing that, you are working the fibers of your belly. So trying to maintain that straight spine and let our legs lift up. Come up. And the next time you lift the right one, let's leave it up. If you need your hands underneath to lift it up a little bit higher, please go ahead and feel like that's something that's okay to do. Still maintaining a nice straight spine. Let's flex into our foot and release. Now, we might not go completely straight. In fact, it's always good to keep a little bend in your knee so you don't hyperextend. But go to where the opening is for the back side of your leg and then bend it in, lift it maybe a little bit higher. And then go ahead and extend. And bring it up. Extend and lengthen. You decide what feels right. Does it feel good to go inhale here? And exhale here? Or does it feel good to go exhale here? And inhale here? You guys figure out what feels good for you, because I want you to be able to do that. I want you to be able to do all these things on your own and continue being mindful of your breath, okay? So, you know, sometimes I will lead you in things that say inhale here and exhale there. And there are generalities to that, but the real rule, if you want to use that word, and I don't really like that word very much, is making sure we breathe with movement, okay? That is yoga. Let's do 2 more. And releasing that leg down. That was my right one. And I'm going to pick up my left foot and maybe interlace in the opposite way that I just had my hands before. And extending out. Bringing foot in. Maybe lifting a little higher, but just keep going with what feels right for you. Maybe you're able to extend out a little bit higher each time or not. Maybe bringing the thigh in closer or not to the chest each time. And because we're using our arms here on our heavy leg, we're also engaging into our muscles of our arms, okay? Let's do 2 more. Have you found the breath that feels good for you? And the length and the depth that feels right for you. And releasing, letting hands go, letting foot ground here. And let's go ahead and have blocks available and take our feet out to the sides, okay? And the blocks kind of in the center. And again, if you don't have a block, don't have to have any, you can hold onto your legs if you'd like. I want you to be supported, okay, no matter what. So I want you to have a flat spine. So maybe lifting up off the chair. Let's just move back and forth a bit, in and out of our knees. Okay, so we're not seated on the chair anymore. If that's not comfortable, then just stay seated and find some organic movement for yourself through your legs and hips if possible. And I'm going to go ahead and lower myself back on the chair. I want to really extend my tailbone back and maybe my arms move forward on the blocks. But find that lengthening for your spine where we're feeling pretty parallel to the ground. It may not be quite parallel because we're at a little bit of an angle here, but having the back straight, okay? So that I'm in almost like a down dog here, reaching forward as much as my arms and the block want to go. And that block has different heights, okay? And then letting my ears come close to my biceps here. The other thing you can do if you don't have the blocks or on that other chair, remember how we've done our practice sometimes with 2 chairs. So this is kind of a combo between a peaceful warrior and a down dog. But we're seated in the chair. We've got our legs open wide, which we would if we were doing peaceful warrior. We've got our back nice and flat and long as if we were doing a down dog. We have our tailbone back, crown reaching forward as if we were doing a down dog or a peaceful warrior. And we're breathing as if we would do on any pose that we do, right? So breathe here. And then I'd like you to lift out of the chair just an inch or 2 into this squat. Hold onto your belly. Feel your legs strengthening here without being weighted into the chair. If that's a lot for you, please take yourself back into the chair and just press your feet into the ground. But when we lift off the chair, we definitely are pressing our feet and getting grounded here for this change of season. And then place yourself back onto the chair. Begin to walk yourself back up so that those blocks are more straight under your gaze. Okay? And then now, instead of having our back kind of angled downward, it's maybe angled upward just a bit. Okay? And again, those blocks use any height that feels right for you. There goes our train. It's not running for the public, but it still runs every day, and I love being here in Bernalillo and hearing that. I'm going to keep my left hand on one of the blocks. I'm going to take my right hand to my waist or my hip area, and I'm just going to take a look up at this beautiful elm tree. It's going to lose its leaves. Already starting to do that. It's got a really good form. And then bring yourself back. Place your right hand on a block. Make sure you're stable. I don't want anybody slipping off their blocks. And a left hand comes to your waist. Press down with the right hand in the block. And take a look over your left shoulder. Good, and left hand comes to your block. We're going to do that again, but this time, if you'd like to go from waist to reaching upward, please do, or keep your hand on your waist, pressing down and lifting up at the same time, finding that connective balance. Fingers expressed widely and wildly. Taking your right hand down wildly, like that great book, The Women Who Run with the Wolves, feeling the wild side of ourselves as women. Right hand down, left hand again to hip or take and reach your fingers up and stretch out through those fingers. Down with your hand on the block. Really feeling an opening here. Taking your gaze anywhere that feels right. Back, side, or down, or taking it back and forth throughout that full rotation. And then my left hand comes back down onto the block. Hold it at your belly. Take the blocks out. Okay? And then take the blocks down. That's my exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Flat spine, belly tight. Exhale, down. Inhale out. Exhale, down. Keeping belly strong here, okay, when we lift out. Two more, please. And then bringing yourself into a cat. Round your spine, chin to chest. Bring those blocks in a little bit closer to your chair, really rounding here, pushing down into feet and blocks. And then slowly releasing hands from blocks as you bring yourself up, ragdoll style, chin staying at the chest until we get ourselves here where our chin is parallel to the ground. And now let's do some of these up and down movements that we did before. Maybe you have to be really at the edge of your chair. And we're gonna feel that in this back part of the hip, pressing down into the ball of my foot. And then I lift up, just happily, lightly, like a gazelle, or like anything you can think of that just takes flight, right? That's really light here. Taking our hands, maybe doing the same thing with our hands. One more set. And finding ourselves nice right here, centered, breathing. And while our legs are still open, let's do some goddess. And I invite any of you that want to take it out of your chair to do. I'm going to do some seated. I'm going to do some standing. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, taking ourselves into this Trident Mudra, cactus arms. I'm going to open up my heart a bit here as well. And then I inhale, lift. Stretching the side body, push down through my feet. Exhale. Pulling shoulders down, heart lifts. My breath takes me up. My exhale takes me down. Then it rise out of my chair. Only if you'd like to, you can do that. Make sure you're nice and stable. Exhale takes me down. Be where your body wants to be. Always can do amplifications, modifications. Let's do 3 more. Do my last 2 seated. And taking my arms up here. And floating them down. Exhale, hands on my knees. And let's take left shoulder in. Look to the back. Nice little twist there. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, let's go ahead and release. Right shoulder forward, left to back. Coming back in. And releasing. Following breath with movement. Becomes very meditative here. Another one of those that can stay here forever and never realize the time. One more set. And bringing myself back up here. Let's go ahead and heel toe our feet back in to the center. Find mountain pose. We're on the edge of our chair here still. And let's take 2 full slow breaths. And now we're going to turn both legs to the side of the chair. So I'm going to turn towards my left and take myself to the edge of the side of that chair so that my feet can stay flat on the ground. Okay, so I'm in a mountain pose, but facing outward to one side. I have to be on my left side. And I'm going to lengthen my spine. And then I want to take a hold of the back of the chair, and I'm going to let myself come into a really big twist here, using the chair as kind of my steering wheel of how far I want to turn into that twist. And finding a place that feels right, being strong in our bellies here. Slowly coming out with your head first, shoulders release, slowly releasing from the handlebars there. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Inhale, rise. Exhale, left hand forward, right hand back. Inhale up. Exhale, right hand forward, left one back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left elbow towards right thigh or right knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right elbow towards any part of my left knee, thigh. One more time here. One more set. And exhale, hands come down. Let's do cat-cow here, 2 sets. When I say 2 sets, if that takes you into 3 sets or 4, 1.5, just be again where your body feels right for you. Just kind of do that as an indicator of where you may want to go. And then we're going to come back to the center, 2 breaths before we turn to the other side. Coming back into mountain to just regroup and to stabilize. And then repeating, we just did on this side, the opposite side. So right now I'm going to turn over towards the right side of my chair. I'm going to kind of be on the edge of the right side of my chair. I think you guys can still see me sitting in mountain here for 2 breaths. Taking a nice big inhale to lengthen my spine. And then taking my hands to the back steering wheel here of the chair. And maybe that's all I want to go in my twist. Or I begin from waist up to look back over. Now my right shoulder as my left comes forward. Breathing. Releasing. And letting yourself come back around slowly with head coming forward first. And then the rest of your body. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, take it into trying to move your heart loose. Inhale, rise. Fingers open up wide, exhale. This time, rise up, inhale. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm back. Come on up. Exhale, left hand forward, right arm back. Rising. One more time each side. Exhale, hands come to knees. Let's do 2 sets of cat and cow. And then bringing myself back up to a nice straight seated position. I go ahead and turn my feet around. And this time, if you have blocks for your feet or something there that will maybe keep the back of your thigh from hitting up against the front of your chair, you can take those blocks and put your feet on them or not. You might want to just rise up onto the balls of your feet. But again, we're just trying to line up our, make that C shape again, right? Foot, ankle, ankle, knee, knee, hip. And now I'm gonna go out of my straight spine alignment and lean myself back. Lean myself back in the chair with control here. I want you to hold on here at your belly or just kind of fingers in there. And then from here, shoulders on the back of the chair, slowly bring yourself into where you're completely perpendicular to the ground. And then let yourself slowly go back into the chair. We probably don't land into our chair this way. We usually plop, right? Take this with breath. I'm inhaling as I pull forward. I'm exhaling as I slowly go back. See how slow you can go back. How lightly you can rest. Shoulders on the back of your chair. Core work, even though it doesn't seem like it. One more time forward. And one more time, taking ourselves slow as we can back into that shoulders to the back of the chair. And maybe needing to scoot myself, my tailbone back a little bit so I'm not as angled maybe. But find what works for you. This should be comfortable. This should be relaxed. This should be restorative, so we don't have to have our hands stretching out. Just let them really kind of fall back. Elbows maybe pulling back towards hips and hands just resting. Releasing down onto our thighs. Shoulders, we can feel them connected to the back of our chair, and depending on what kind of chair you have, you may feel other parts of your spine connected there. You want, go ahead and just release your chin towards your chest to open up the back side of that neck and let the shoulders come down. Done a lot of neck opening and shoulder opening, and I know mine feels a lot more fluid right now than it did when we started class. And then raising up my chin, closing my eyes, finding those gentle, full, slow, calming, balancing breaths. Listening to whatever ambient sounds you have in your home. Be thankful for them, whatever they may be. Maybe it's total silence and all you hear is your breath. Being very thankful for that. Saying hello to our breath. Bringing in honor and respect to our breath. Bringing mindfulness into our breath. We'll carry away from our yoga practice today. Into our daily lives and encounters. And then placing one hand or two upon your heart space. I honor that place in you where the universe dwells. I honor the place in you where there is love and light, peace and joy. For when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one, we are connected, even in this virtual manner. From my heart to yours, thank you for your presence. Namaste. Thanks, guys. Let me come on up there. Say hello to you. You want to unmute yourself, or I can unmute you. Either way. and see who else may have joined us. I see Cheryl's there too, and Lydia and Denise. Yay. And Josephine. Yay, Josephine. That's good. All of you guys bring smiles to my face. So I have Josephine and Cheryl and Lori and Lydia and Denise.
I
Thank you
was
guys.
interested in hearing that you spent time in Chile. I spent
Yes.
I spent 5 years in the late 60s.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. It's my favorite place in the world, I think.
That's
And
great.
we lived in La Serena for a year. I don't know if you know that place. It's
Oh,
up
yeah.
north. Like, divide Chile into 3 sections about at the bottom of that top third. And we lived there in 1990. I was married to a husband of mine at the time. There, he was a biologist, and my daughter became fluent in Spanish. She was just 9 at the time. So now she's 30 years ago. God,
Wow.
incredible.
50
Well, very
years
nice.
ago for me.
I'd love to hear your stories about that sometime.
Okay.
Yeah, a beautiful place in the world. Yeah. Has
Yeah.
anyone else traveled there?
Yeah.
Anyone else out
I've
there
been
ever
there. I've
traveled,
been there
Cheryl?
several times. Yeah. The last time I went out to Rapa Nui.
Ah,
Wow.
nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Have fun.
Yeah, I just saw a
Bird
show the other night.
photographing in the south near Punta Arenas. And
Ah, yes. Uh-huh.
so,
Chiloé, did you get to Chiloé? Las Islas de Chiloé?
no.
Beautiful. They have a real interesting culture there as well. So, well, good. Well, thank you guys for being here. And I hope some of you join me tomorrow. And remember, I'm always trying to throw in modifications for using the chair. I think in October, we're adding another chair class. It's going to be on Fridays at 10 o'clock. We're meeting Thursday just to look at the schedule. So we can determine what that might look like, and we'll let you guys know, of course.
Good.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
sound good.
I thought it'd be nice because Monday you have the Sit Strong, and then Tuesday we have this, and then if we put in another chair class, I think that would be nice maybe on that Friday. So
That'd be
yeah,
lovely.
good. Okay,
Thank
that would be
you.
great.
Thank
You're
you.
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome. Thank you all. Love you lots.
Love you.
And be good to yourselves. And keep coming or checking out that YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
All right.
Thanks.
Sure, you guys. Take care.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Julie, this was so perfect. I woke up with my shoulders so stiff and in pain. And this,
Oh,
Uh-huh.
you really worked our bodies in just the right way for me today. So
Oh, good.
I worked through the pain and I feel a whole lot better.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, Lori was talking about her stiffness. And I love this one about taking your hand behind you and interlacing the fingers and just letting that work. And then if you want to add a little bit more, that one I just was introduced to this last week. So I thought I'm going to start doing that for my own self.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So build that into your day.
I
Great.
have a question about that one. Are you
Yes, Lydia.
pulling the hand that you've put back first? Are you pulling it kind of this way, or
Yeah, well,
Like-
I'm clasping,
it's coming
right?
towards your other hip?
Clasp. You're going to clasp, and then you only pull if you want more. But if you want more, I just begin to take that elbow back, and that shoulder comes back, and I bring
Yeah.
my hands over on the side of my
So it's
waist a
coming
little.
towards the other hip.
Mhm. Only if that's what you want. Otherwise, this may be really enough. You may not even be able to reach that. Then take a towel or a washcloth and hold on between both hands, and you'll still get that, because I don't want any of you to overdo in your shoulder. I want it something that feels right and good for you, okay? So if clasping fingers doesn't work right now, then take that towel or a washcloth or something, okay, and use that. So, yeah, and it's new, so we'll experiment with it a bit.
So good.
Okay?
Your shirt is really pretty.
Thank you.
Your shirt is really pretty.
Thank you. I'm about to do a little presentation for my group site for the Temescal. So I thought I'd wear this pretty little shirt. So got a hummingbird on it, and the Temescal has a hummingbird on it.
Great.
So, all right, you guys. Well, take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Nice to see you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's go too.
So I'll say hello to you, and thanks for sending that photo.
Oh, isn't it
Yeah,
sweet?
the
They were
photo
so
that-
happy to be able to go outside.
I can understand that. Yeah, that's great. Good. Well, I can't talk too long because I've got to get the presentation done, set up the Temescal because I have a Olympia to do today, and then I have an extra class that I'm going to take today at 1 o'clock. So it's kind of a
Yep.
day for me. But I'm
Well,
here in, at the Quita, so it's nice to spend a little time out here in this beautiful day and weather. So.
Yeah. Well, have a wonderful
Yeah.
day.
Okay, Lydia, thank you. Maybe if you come tomorrow, I'm open up after if you want to talk.
Okay. I think
Okay.
that should work. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a walk in here like that.
Who
Feel up
knows?
to it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm feeling stronger. Yeah,
Good.
my chiropractic appointment went well, and on Thursday I have my annual checkup with Dr. Kaufman. So,
okay, good.
but he when I was lying prone and Dr. Jones was pressing on my back, I felt these pains like in my ribs on the side and the lower front, like I had never felt before.
Ooh. Uh-huh.
You know, I
just
mean,
froze.
I studied massage therapy, but it's been such a long time.
Yeah.
I think it's the costals or intercostals or something.
Yeah,
You know, in
the
the ribs that he thinks maybe there's some inflammation there. Intercostals
Mhm.
that and had me some arnica cream on it, and but he got the ribs in place, and I think that has been really, really helpful. Yeah. So, and then I'll see
Good.
Dr. Kaufman on Thursday. So I thought I'll wait until after I see him, and do I need to do anything else? You know. So.
Okay. Does it hurt
But
when we do?
he listened to my heart and lungs. And no, actually everything felt really good. The
Okay,
biggest
so
thing
does it
that it's
do
like,
side stretch?
I just haven't been aware of how constricted my chest is, especially
Mhm.
like up here.
Yeah.
And I think it's from all of that. So I think that's opening up, and
Good.
the hills are still a challenge, but I'm feeling than I was a week ago. So that's good.
Well, maybe we get you down to the flatlands here in the valley.
Yeah.
For some walk.
Right.
All right, Lydia. Sounds good. Well,
I
thanks
love
for the updates. And I'll
Happy
see you
solstice.
tomorrow, I hope. I'm sorry?
Yeah, you had told me. You had told me to let you know how it went. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
Anyway,
good. Well,
yes, we'll see each other. I should be there at class.
okay.
We have
All right.
people arriving at the Park House tomorrow. But I didn't want to meet them because 2 weeks ago I went for my car and I couldn't go in because I had seen people who had traveled out of
Yeah.
state, and their
Mm.
requirement is 2 weeks. So then,
Yeah.
and since I'm going to see Dr. Fruckman on Thursday, I told Anthony, I said, I'm not going to meet these people.
Yeah, that's probably better. You just never know. That's the thing.
So that means
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So
All right. Well,
have a
I will
wonderful
hopefully
day.
see you tomorrow.
Happy solstice.
and we can
Thank you
spend-
for the beautiful class.
Yeah, you're welcome, Lydia. Thanks for your
Okay,
beautiful face. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I see you.